My beautiful people of Ireland, my beautiful men and women of Ireland, it is a dark day in our land today. So just yesterday, the government that nobody wants in power, voted in the Criminal Justice Incitement to Violence and Hatred or Hate Offences Bill 2022. They passed the bill. And for those wondering as well, they actually didn't pass the hate speech bill or the hate speech segment inside that bill, the amendments in that bill, but it's gonna happen in the next government. So unfortunately, it's a dark day, guys. So that will eventually come into place. That bill and those amendments to that bill will eventually come in. That's why I implore every single person in Ireland not to vote for Sinn Féin, Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael. Vote for an independent, guys. Vote for somebody completely different, because this now has made basically thought crimes, okay? Thoughts and speech and words crimes, which is just a travesty. But we have today, of course, Peadar Tóibín from Aontú, okay, which is sort of like a bit of a fighting back against this bill, along with a few other people. There was probably 20 people, maybe a little bit more, who fought back against this bill in its total. So this one's going to be wild. Apparently it says he eviscerates the Dáil in this, so hopefully it's fire. Drop a comment down below. Sorry to start off the weekend with some bad, dreary news, but I mean, it is what it is, guys. No more thinking about bad things, or no more saying anything insulting anymore. Now it's a crime, guys. Hey, it was gonna happen eventually. They said we're the only country in Europe without it, but here's the thing, guys. Because we're the only country not with these crazy laws doesn't make it a bad thing. Okay, that's actually a good thing. We're ahead of the curve, but now we're on the same flipping wavelength, to 1984 and all that sort of stuff that comes with it, guys. So unfortunately, let's hear what Peadar Tóibín has to say.
Minister, I want to welcome the amendments to this bill that have deleted the censorship elements of the bill. I have no doubt that they're being ditched because of the groundswell of opposition that exists against the bill in its former state. And I have no doubt as well that Simon Harris is better at reading opinion polls than Leo Varadkar, and that's probably one of the reasons why that we've seen this significant change in recent times. But it has to be said, and it has to be put on the record, Minister, that this bill has been a fiasco in truth. Whatever way you look at it, this bill is...
Everybody has been against this bill. Everybody. Oh, I'm not allowed to say bro anymore, so I have to say, what's the scale? How are you getting on, lads? Sorry, I'm not allowed to say bro anymore. All the comments will insult me and say I'm not professional. But this bill, guys, has been extremely hated and had so much pushback. Niall Boylan, me, okay, with my 100,000 subscribers. We have Gripped with their flipping 60,000 subscribers, the biggest news network in the whole of Ireland. So many people are against this bill, but they still chose to pass it. No vote with the people. If I was in charge, guys, I would have the people vote on this. You know what I mean? I wouldn't just have it pushed through as a flipping dictatorship. You're not Gaddafi. They're not Saddam Hussein in our government. They're a flipping democracy, guys. I don't know how the hell we're not allowed to vote on this. Boggles my mind. The people, it boggles my mind.
It is a mess of your making, Minister. I've never seen a minister come into this house waving the white flag of surrender in a manner such as this. I've never seen a minister amend a bill against her will that she's already passed through this house and say at the same time that she is regretting the deletion of the aspects of that bill.
Yeah, because like I said in the beginning, they wanted to add censorship parts to it as well, but they weren't allowed to put the censorship parts in. For having people censored on X, Twitter, previously known as Twitter, now called X, Elon Musk's social media network, YouTube, Google, Facebook. If you say anything insulting, you go to jail, basically.
I will say from the start that Aontú were the only political party in this stall to oppose all the elements of this bill. And many in the opposition or the other political parties will have tried to cut stripes off us, give us, try to pigeonhole us, for example, for voicing what we did at the start of the debate. And I think it's really important that we remember what a democracy looks like. A democracy doesn't mean that every political party follows the latest intellectual fashion, such as sheep. A democracy is about challenging and questioning and pushing a government on all aspects of their programme to make sure
Fight, my brother.
That is fit for purpose in relation to the state. I do want to report a crime here today, though, Minister. I want to say that I woke up this morning and there wasn't a stitch left in my wardrobe, and the reason being is because I think Sinn Féin are robbing all my clothes at the moment. It's incredible that I welcome McCarthy's speech here today, for sure. It's just a pity that Sinn Féin couldn't give that speech when the bill went through the Dáil in its first iteration. And Deputy McCarthy also mentioned the confusion over the confused definitions of durable relationships within the referendums gone by, but he forgot to indicate that Sinn Féin also supported those particular referendums as well. A democracy is about the engine of challenge. The way to get to the truth is when ideas compete with each other, and the best ideas percolate to the top.
I love it, and that's the whole thing about democracy and free speech, guys. When ideas are contested and they're able to have some sort of discussion about them, and then the best ideas rise to the top, like the best people for a job rise to the top, guys. That's how the best people are formed in society, and that's how the lineage of better people are created in the world.
People, the citizens, can see what are the best ideas, and that's how you achieve progress.
Yes.
And the problem with this bill in its first iteration was that it actually sought to create a chilling effect over democratic debate. And that chilling effect would have the effect of large pendulum swings of ideology within democracy, and that is dangerous for society. The government also asked us at the time to accept their bona fides in terms of this bill, but legislation is not just for a particular government. Legislations are for all governments that happen from there on out, and governments aren't always benign, is the truth of the matter. And that's why it's really important that we have legislation that stands the test in terms of potential future governments and what they will do in our society. There is hate in our society. There is tremendous harm being done in our society, and we need to tackle that tooth and nail right through society. I believe that we need to do it through education. I believe we need to do it in relation to bringing up our children with respect. And I do believe that we should use a full vigour of the law as it stands to challenge hate and damage that results within society.
And when he said there's a lot of hate in society, I don't personally see a lot of hate, guys. When I go out to town or to meet friends and family, I only see a lot of love in my city, guys, which is the west of Ireland, okay? But maybe in Dublin there's a little bit more hate, but to me it's people hating on the government, guys. It's not hating each other. The people love each other. I only hear people shouting at each other in the shops, Lidl, Aldi, Tesco, Dunn's, having a great time. Old Irish traditional values. But now we hear that there's a lot of hate, and it's really only hate for the government, guys. That's basically what it is.
It shocks me, though, because I do feel there's a little bit of virtue signalling going on with this bill. And what I mean by that is that the government says it wants to protect citizens with this bill. But at the same time, the government won't invest into the Garda Force to protect citizens. So I was asked, for example, after the RTE Investigates programme on...
That was just pure propaganda, that programme, guys. I watched the Virgin Media one and I watched the RT one. I'm like, what even is this? I could have made a better documentary, and I will, guys. I'm actually planning to make a documentary as well, so stay tuned for that one, guys. It's going to be wild.
The horrendous crimes that took place outside of the Crown Paints factory in Coolock, would that not be an argument for the hate speech bill? And I was just dumbfounded because there was so much actual crimes happening at the time that were against the actual law at the time, and the actual Garda Force weren't implementing the law at the time. So if you're not going to fund and resource the Gardaí, if you're not going to reform the absolute confused mismanagement that exists at the upper tiers of the Gardaí at the moment, you're not going to get to the heart of protecting people.
True.
And it's incredible that we had the head of the Gardaí, Drew Harris, state that there would be a full investigation into what happened in the Dublin riots. And that you yourself, Minister, said that there would be a full investigation in what happened to the Dublin riots. I've seen no report in relation to that investigation as of yet. I've seen no report published, I've seen no recommendations made, and I've seen no recommendations implemented. And I bet you, your bottom dollar, we won't see a report or recommendations. So it's meaningless to create these virtue signalling bills if you don't mean business in relation to resourcing the Garda Force that is necessary to implement the law on this. And there is a problem with the definitions of these bills. And
this is the main issue. The definition is, there's no ontological list, okay, which is like a philosophy term. Like, there's no clear-cut definition of what words are not allowed. The F word, the C word, see you next Tuesday. Like, what words are not allowed and what words are allowed? What racist words are there? What homophobic words are there? What heterophobic words are there? What transphobic words? Like, what are the words that are not allowed to be used? Or what is the exact hate law? Nobody knows. Okay, it's super vague. Okay, and it's a very nuanced topic, guys. To have a super vague, sort of arbitrary line of what's good and what's bad is crazy, because you could technically call anything hate. You could call anything hate. You could call biological facts hate. You could call flipping anything hate, right?
That is the truth of it. And if you're going to criminalize an individual, you should have the common decency to let people know exactly why you're criminalizing them. In other words, to be able to create a definition.
100%.
And that was sorely missing, and is missing still, I believe, from the bill as it stands.
100%.
If I asked a child, what is an apple? And the child said to me, well, an apple is an apple, I would accept a circular argument in relation to that definition. But I would not accept a Minister for Justice seeking to criminalise an individual with exactly the same circular type argument.
Because that's basically what happened to Enoch Burke, right? Enoch Burke got suspended. He's still getting paid, apparently, and things like that. So that whole Enoch Burke thing is a bit vague as well. We don't know much as the public. Okay, they haven't told us everything. The family seek to tell us the truth, but really it's more vague, as they have a pending criminal court case. It's kind of hard to actually talk about the case. But the root of that issue is some guy not, saying, going along with certain issues in the school, and everybody knows those issues. Okay, that's the root of the issue, guys. The actual contextual root of the issue is that, unfortunately, he's getting fired for not going along with the issues in the school. And I won't get too much into that, guys, because YouTube, but everybody knows what I'm talking about. So it's unbelievable, guys. Everything else, of course, not related to that is otherwise, but he's in jail for not basically going along with the issues and the new issues of the classroom people and the students.
It's just not acceptable, Minister. It's not good enough by half, and that goes to the heart of this. In terms of the definition of gender, that definition is not good enough. You cannot protect people if you can't define what gender they are. In relation to the Gender Recognition Act, I said very, very, very clearly that if you have a situation where you will put male-born sex offenders into women's prisons, it will damage the rights of women inside those prisons. It will damage the rights of women who are working in those prisons as well.
That's true. Like, I don't know why people on the left want to see women, men and women sports and stuff. It's very weird, guys. Like, who wants to see women getting beaten up by men? It's very strange. Very strange.
The limit of one citizen is where it infringes. The limit of the human rights of one citizen is where it infringes on the human rights of another citizen.
Yeah.
And if you can't define who those citizens are, you have a recipe for disaster in relation to that. And indeed, there's a court case at the moment as a result of a decision of your government to place a male-born sex offender into a women's prison. And I would really ask the Minister, we have to legislate on the basis of science and evidence. We cannot legislate on the basis of ideology, especially when most European countries are now actually reversing from that ideology at the moment.
It's true. They are reversing from
it.
Yeah, Guru Mila Mahagath, guys. And, Peadar Tóibín, man, he's an amazing speaker, great guy, looks like he's in shape, it looks like he's not very well spoken, very articulated. He actually can speak well. Most of the people now in government can't even speak well. They can't even speak fast. It's unbelievable. But seems like a good guy. I implore you all, do not vote for Sinn Féin, Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, any of that stuff, guys. Especially Sinn Féin, especially Fianna Fáil. Do not vote for any of these people in the next government. There's an up-and-coming election. I implore you, please vote for some independents. Maybe if you guys like Peadar Tóibín. But, there's certain things, of course, that aren't great about him as well. I know there's other aspects, but very well spoken, can talk a good talk. Hopefully they're able to show us now in the future, what exactly is going to happen with this bill. And hopefully this bill can actually be scrapped. Fortunately, guys, if there's a new government that's not Sinn Féin, Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, they can actually get rid of this bill straight away, which is great news. I love you all. Stay free, my beautiful people of Ireland, and I'll see you all in the next one, guys. Peace.